It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the biggest race of the season. It is British National Mountain Bike XCO Championships at Woodies Bike Park this weekend, and it's going to be a wicked one. So without further ado, this is the Giorgio Coppola Cycling course preview, predictions, breakdown, hardtail versus full suspension course. Who knows? If you hear a baby in the background, we are doing this from our lodge that we're staying in. So let's get into course preview. So I have the footage from when I raced here 2 years ago running now. I've seen other channels do course previews. The course is exactly the same from what I am seeing, so I thought I'd run through what we've got. Absolutely, I will not be going this fast again. But the start straight was like a grass drag up, and this course is all about who's bloody fittest. You are going up a lot of climbs, down a lot of descents. It's at a bike park. The descents are so smooth though, and well maintained. So you'll see here, after that climb, initial grass climb, you've got like berms leading down this first descent. It's gonna I don't think it's gonna be this dusty because there's been a little bit of rain when we've been here the last few days. But yeah, a super fast start. And it's a climbing course. That is where your boy is slightly worried. So you'll see, I think the guy in front of me here is actually on a hardtail. Absolutely mind-blowing. But yeah, so what you'll see now, little drag, and then we climb straight back up. I think you hit about 1,000 meters of climbing in this race. So a little tricky section there, and then we are straight back climbing. So this course, you're either going down or you're going up. There's no flats, so I can't complain about that. I'm normally always complaining about a flat segment in a course where I don't have the power to keep up, but it is essentially power to weight ratio going up these climbs, and they don't look like much, but they are leg sapping, and they're like, there's one towards the end, super draggy, but you climb up and then you hit the first proper descent of the race. And I just don't know whether this course is hardtail or full suspension. People will comment down below what they think, but where the trails are so well maintained and they're just so smooth, like down this descent, going over these little jumps, and it's all like real smooth berms, there is like a rock garden and stuff like that, so maybe there is a slight advantage to having the full suspension mountain bike. But for me, a good 80% of this course is spent going up a bloody hill. Slightly concerning because the dad bod is in full flow, and also the fitness for bike riding is nil point. So yeah, a wicked fun little descent here. The descents are so fun. Look, you see the guy in front of me smashing out whips. Your boy has not got a techers for them. But yeah, we descend all the way down to just really fun berms to the bottom of the course, and then boy oh boy does the climbing start. You are basically doing exactly what you've just done, but up like berms, and it is killer. But you'll see here there is a few little drops, they're nothing major. So part of me is like, yeah, that'll be fine on the hardtail. The other part of me is thinking full suspension could give a nice bit of comfort going over some of these drops. It was super dusty when we done it 2 years ago though. So you can see now, just like, it was a boiling hot day, and when you go down into this little area at the bottom of the climb, it was really hot. It was like a sun trap because none of the wind was hitting you. But yeah, so this is sort of coming to the end of the descent. It gets a little bit steeper at this bottom bit and a bit more. I don't think this is actually a trail. I think they've just like cut this bit in. So just there it gets a little bit like bumpy, gnarly, but then we hit the climb, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a savage one. There's no two ways about it. It is a, basically, I think it's a blue run in reverse. So yeah, you need your climbing legs. Is the lad in front on a hardtail? It looks like there's quite a few boys on hardtail now. That's a full susser. But yeah, this guy here, he looks like he's on a hardtail. He also looks like he weighs about 20 kilos, so makes no difference. But yeah, really, if you haven't got, one, the fitness, two, the descending skills, you're going to get absolutely turned inside out on this course, because it doesn't look like steep, but you can see how like much this guy in front's having to get over the front of the bike to just climb when he gets out of the saddle. Look, and he's, whoa, boy's got some power. Boy's got some power. But yeah, a super tough climb back up to the top. And for me, I think a key part of doing well at this course is going to be not blowing your biscuit on lap 1, which is what I normally do. Your boy's a professional, but look how steep it is around these corners. Like I said, it is essentially a downhill that we're going up right now. So there, I wasn't even moving, because if you don't get the traction as well, you're getting absolutely cooked and you're wheel spinning on these corners. But basically, you hit this climb all the way to the top, and then you literally get a tiny little bit of respite where this section of the course goes downhill over down a few little berms, over a few little jumps, and then surprise surprise, you are climbing again. Pray for Georgie boy's legs. He needs to find the ability to climb in the next 24 hours. But yeah, you go past pits there, you see Del Boy absolutely hanging out, and then you basically climb back up. This is only like a real short, sharp little effort up this grass bit, but it all just adds up so much. You think this looks quite flat, but you still got to put an effort in to get over these little humps up to the top, and then you're into it's basically the last descent of the lap, because you send it all the way down to the furthest point in Cornwall, I think it is, before you have to climb all the way back up to the other end of Cornwall. But basically this is the main descent now, so a few berms and then you hit the rock garden. The rock garden's nothing major, like it is all rideable. Would it be easier on a full suspension? Absolutely. I'm riding a full susser now. There's a little drop at the end. It's nothing huge, and then a few little jumps here that you've got to clear and a few drops, but it's a big decision for me. I'm like partly thinking I'm going to be faster, more comfortable with a full suspension bike. The other part of me is thinking I'm going to be quicker on the climbs. So does it outweigh one another, sort of thing? But yeah, a few more drops down here, and then we go under the bridge that we descended earlier, and then all the way down to the bottom of the course. It is a super fun descent again. Like, you just don't get, there's no descents like this around by me. Like, there's a little bit more of a rock garden section here. I'm not 100% sure this is all guaranteed to be in there, but from the videos I've seen, it is, and I obviously can't get on the course until tomorrow. So down through this grass section, you do a few little jumps, and then it is the most killer climb you will ever do. Basically, it's like initially a grass section, then it goes into gravel, and it just drags and drags. And you know, I much prefer the first climb where it's switchback ups, because you've got like a target each time. Like, I'll try and get to the next corner, the next corner, the next corner. This next climb, you're just looking at the top of the hill thinking, does this hill ever end? It goes on for ages. But you can see, look, this descent, we are now at the bottom of Cornwall, and we've got to go back up. So you can see the boys obviously dropped me on that descent, which is worrying because I'm actually on a full suspension now. But this is when the real climb starts, and this is when your legs are probably going to be shell city by the time you get to the top of this. But yeah, so it drags all the way up now. It is not fun. I've sped it up because your boy was going so slow, and you can see everyone is coming past me. But yeah, it was savage. Just here was the worst bit of the climb for me. Grass section onto this gravel section, and you are just thinking to yourself, will this climb ever end? And thankfully, eventually it does end, but at this point, you are absolutely broken. Actually, that wasn't even the bit where it ends. It still goes up. But that is basically a lap of the course. It is basically two massive climbs, two massive descents. Is it a hardtail course? Is it a full suspension course? Who knows? But one thing I can tell you is this guy is not ready to tackle these climbs, and he's probably not ready to tackle the descents either, but it's going to be wicked fun. So that is a little look at the course. Savage one, as always, when you go to Woody's Bike Park. But let's talk about the predictions. Obviously, I'm not in the elite race, ladies and gentlemen. That will be no surprise to any of you. So we won't talk about my race till the end. But we've got the elite ladies race. I've got to look at my phone for this to get the start list. We have obviously quite a few hitters in this, but the two main ones that you see on the World Cup circuit, Evie Richards, Isla Short, they're probably going to be battling it out. The George Coppola prediction is that Isla Short is going to take the jersey. She's going to take the stripes. Now, hear me out. Everyone's going to be like, well, comment down below what you think. But everyone's going to be like, Evie Richards, Evie Richards. But Isla Shaw, I saw her go out at the start of that World Cup the other day. Full gas. She literally went up that first climb. I know she didn't win, didn't hold it. But anyone that goes out that fast is a champion in my eyes. And she obviously climbs really well. Like I said, it is a climber's course. So that is my prediction there. She's a small rider, so she should absolutely fly up those climbs. Unlike myself. In the men's race, I mean, it's hard to look past Charlie Aldridge. He won this race 2 years ago when I raced. Him and Cameron Mason battled it out for like 7 laps or something, and I think he got it at the end. So it's hard to look past him, and as well, on top of that, he has been seriously getting good results on the big stage, the World Cups. He's been getting on the podium. I think he got 3rd at the last World Cup. He's had some top results in the short track, so it's a bit of a no-brainer. But you know what it's like in bike racing. There's going to be a big element of like drafting on some of these climbs and that, because these boys are going so fast. They might be able to get a little bit of a rest drafting behind him, playing a bit of tactics, because it looks like the conditions are going to be dry. But it's going to be savage, a wicked race. And obviously, last but not least, your boys race. Let me explain my category. There's, I think, 13 of us on the start line, and the way it works is we are in the 30 to 40 category. So you can't be an elite racer to be in this category. So we're basically not good enough or fast enough to race with the elites. We're also not old enough to race with the vet 40s. That's our category. It's only one race a year where you get this category. That's why I'm here, because there's only 13 of us. No, but in all seriousness, my predictions for myself, I'm hoping for at least a top 12. So, not to come last. That is a big ask, because obviously when there's a jersey on the line and a chance to be like national champion, even if it's in the category of not fast enough, not old enough, fast people do turn up still. So, top 12 for your boy. Fingers crossed. If you're racing, come and say hi. This has been the Giorgio Coppola Network course preview and predictions. Comment yours down below. Apologies for the child that is making an absolute racket in the background. Look, I've got my hat she bought me. Dad Established 2024. I used to think people that wore dad clothes and that were absolute, I can't even beepers. But now I'm a dad. Love it, don't I? I'm one of those guys now. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a quick one before National Champs. I'll have the race video out after the race. I'm racing tomorrow. If you're there, come and say hi, and we'll catch you in the next video.